Hello, good people, and welcome to Finance Skills Hub. Here, we learn, we connect, and we grow. When you create connections to your files locally on your computer using Power Query, there are two obvious challenges. The first one is that if you move the location of the file later on your computer and you refresh that query, that is going to break because the source file has changed. The same thing happens when you rename the file. Again, if you refresh, the query will break because it can't find the exact name it used when you queried it. Now, we are going to learn about the remedy or the solution to these two problems. Instead of creating a query to your local files, a better way to do that is to query the file on your OneDrive. So if you want to know the trick, join me in Excel and Power BI, and let's go through this together. Okay, so I have this Excel workbook, season 11 case study, and it's currently located in my Excel media folder. So just for you to appreciate the path to this, I'm opening this directly. So the file basically contains the case study for our previous training session. Now, it has about 5 worksheets. So we have transactions, actual customers, product, budget, revenue, and all that. So I want to query this and then use it to create my data model and visuals and all that. Now, this file is also backed up in my OneDrive. Okay, so if I come to my OneDrive, the same file is here, season 11 case study test. So what I'm saying is, instead of using Power Query directly on that local file, open your OneDrive, locate the file, okay? So in this display, all you need to do is to check and select the file. Now, when you do that, at the top, you have the option to embed, okay? So we are going to use the embed to generate an embed code. So usually, when you generate that embed code, the idea is that you are able to fit the sheet in your blog or your web page. Okay, so if I come in here, this code has been generated, right? I'm going to copy the entire code. So Control C to copy. I'll open my notepad or Word, okay, and then I'm going to paste this. Now, okay, so now when you have the code in here, you need to take off some details we do not need. So we are going to take off anything before the H. The file should start with HTTPS, right? So I'll back off everything here, delete this, okay, and the part that gives the details on the width and the height, okay, that part together with the ending double quote should also go off. Okay, so ideally it should end with a unique ID, right? That is the auth key. Okay, so now that you have this, you still have embed in the code, right? So you just gently change embed to download. Okay, so I'm going to change this to download. And that's all you need to do, right? So this way it makes the file accessible anytime you query it. So at this point, you can copy this file path, okay, and then open a new instance of Excel or Power BI. So here, I'm going to query it in a new workbook. So I'll open a new workbook. Okay, go to data, get data. So this is my Power Query. Okay, and I'm going to query it from other sources, from web, right? So when I click on from web, so from web, I get this option to paste in my file path. So essentially what we just copied, right? So I'm going to paste this in here and then I'll click OK. Okay, so I'm saying that this is possible in Power BI as well. So it's the same process. You query it from the web and then you paste it in here. So now let's see what we have. So my expectation is that it should bring the worksheets. Okay, so I have my budget cost, as you can see it here, budget, revenue, customers, product, and all that. So now at this point, we could transform these data sets directly. But what we want to do is to make it dynamic. So we want to rather query the link, okay, so that if there are changes in the content, so if you take out some worksheets or bring in new worksheets, those things will still reflect and update. So instead of transforming these specific worksheets, you rather click on the link, right? You right click and then you choose transform data, right? So this way the link becomes your source, right? So if I choose transform data, then in Power Query it opens up, okay, and then I have the list of files in my workbook. So obviously at this stage you can do some transformation here. Example, you can choose to just keep the first two columns, okay, remove the other columns, and then also remove any named ranges or worksheets that you don't need. So I'll just take this off. So usually when it's like this, if you want to query a particular worksheet, okay, you just right click in this white space and then add it as a new query. Okay, so I can add this as a new query. Okay, name it transactions. Right, and then if I come and I need another, I can bring another one here and then name this as customers, like that. Okay, so now this works. So let's test a situation where we move the file on our local computer and then we rename the file as well. Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to save this as a connection. So close and load to, and then hold this as a connection. Okay, so if I create this as a connection, you see my original file here and then the queries that I put in here, right? Now I'm going to go back to that original file and then do two things. So this is the original file. I'm going to take off the product worksheets. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, and then close this file, save it. Okay, and then if I come to my Excel media, right, I just made this change. Okay, now I'm going to rename this, okay, and then put OneDrive at the end. Okay, and then move the file. So I'm going to cut the file and then move it into the worksheets folder. Okay, so I'll just wait for this to update in my OneDrive. Okay, so with this tick, it means it has been uploaded in my OneDrive. So if I come here and then I refresh this, okay, it just tells me that I've made these changes just now, right? So it's still intact. My query is still on standby. Now let's go into the Power Query and refresh this. Let's see if it breaks it or we get the updates that we just did. So I'm going to directly go in here. Okay, so now I have access to my Power Query, right? I have not refreshed this, so my product worksheet is still here. Okay, so I'll go in, refresh, preview, and then refresh all. Okay, so let's see if this works. Right, so that's it. So even though we made changes with the name, remove the file, every update we did in that workbook also reflects in here. You know what this means? So it means that you can query your files in Excel and Power BI and then work with it. If you send these files back and forth, because it's still pointing to your OneDrive, any updates reflects directly. It doesn't change when you make all the content updates when you refresh as well. I hope this was useful. Please practice and add it to your list of Excel and Power BI tricks. Thanks for joining us.
If this video was helpful and you would like to receive more of these videos directly on your WhatsApp, you can send ad to this WhatsApp number. We'll add you to our broadcast list so you receive our videos directly. You can also visit our YouTube channel, Finance Skills Hub. All our old videos are here. Please subscribe for notification of new videos or connect with us on any of these social media handles. Thank you so much for watching.